And hello, all my fellow nerds out there. This is Orgel and Richie, and welcome back once again to my vampire boyfriend Smoke's Lucky Strikes. So, last time we started the story, we met Genzo, and we also met who I believe might be Iggy's boss, Barrick. At least I'm fairly certain that's Barrick. I don't know. But anyways, uh, we're here to continue the story. We just arrived at the bike shop. Apparently, techno techno lights and electronics, even though it's supposed to be called Bikes by the Brook. Try saying that 5 times fast. Hmm. Anyways, it's in one of his new sweaters and denim jacket that Barrick had described as sassy but shy that Iggy shows up at 14 East Staten Road. Feeling just a tad bit sweaty and a helping load of jittery. It's a small shop nestled between the liquor store and the electrician's. Quite unassuming on the outside, from its sun-bleached sign to its astroturf sheathed front stoop, complete with doormat reading "Come in for a really good great time." It's not even that. It hasn't even been that long, and we're already going in with the puns. Inside, it's no less homely. Wall-to-wall sepia slattered wood paneling. Bikes lining up a set of racks along the right-hand wall, most of them in various states of wear and tear. Metal shelves of bike parts and tools with neon yellow price stickers slapped askew on their packaging. And a jingle jangling bell loud in the otherwise silent interior to announce his arrival. He grimaces. So much for giving himself an easy out if he loses his nerve. No, now the whole world knows he's here. Or he blinks. There's no one around. And no one appearing at the sound of his entrance either. Least of all the orange-capped gentlemen who had been so monopolizing his thoughts for a good part of the of the last 24 hours. He itches at his wrist where the sweater is starting to scratch him, and looks. There's a register towards the back, currently unoccupied, but perhaps it will provide him with some sort of clue. So he wanders back through the aisles of Velocip Velocipodal apparati. I have never heard of any of these words before, to be honest. I know what apparati means. Just what was that? I hear that clanging. Pretending to show interest in a contraption or two, just in case, along the way. When he reaches the back, there is still no sign of anyone, nor any signage explaining the absence. He comes to an awkward stop. At first, just staring at the counter with its oversized buttons, wielding cash register. Is that Braille on those labels? He's too nervy to look closer. Then shifting his gaze to the back wall and the various ads for sale signs, flyers, and pull-off tabs for cycling lessons stapled directly onto the paneling at erratic intervals. There's also one for what appears to be a strip club, topped by a crudely drawn diagram of a penis. Iggy wonders if Genzo knows that it's there. His ears perk up when he makes out the sound of music drifting from under a door to the right. A back room? Hey, wait, that's actually pretty catchy. Hold up. Of course, it's the back room. It's only logical. he, he's clearly not whipping out his Phillips head in the middle of the showroom. His thoughts percolating in his mind, he finds himself moving to the door without really thinking about it. The fact that it's ajar only tempts his curiosity further. He pushes it softly just enough so I can peek inside. Hey, that's pretty good music. A dim workshop meets his eyes. Dim on account of the thick curtains that appear to have been fixed over the clerestory windows on the high, though lit well enough by a few bulbs buzzing overhead. Shelves and boxes line the sides, stuffed to the brim with an assortment of curiosity-shaped metal and bric-a-brac. Okay, wait. I'm gonna turn this down just in case this is copyrighted. I don't want to get in trouble. Anyways, the large workbench stretches the length of the brick wall, boasting peg after peg of colorful tools, many of which Iggy's never seen before in his life. Which is perhaps not saying much, but feels vital enough to mention. It's a rusty, dusty atelier redolent with an aroma of grease, gears, and wood chips, but something about it puts Iggy's mind at ease. The warm intimacy of it, perhaps a cozy nook hidden away from the bustle of the city life. Or the man occupying it, who is currently swaying it to the beat of the music as he sweeps the strewn strike impedimenta with sashaying flourishes about the alcove. He's getting pretty into it, too. First time each sweep along with the song's rhythmic cadences, then spinning back and dipping the handle of the broom with a twist. All the whole shaking his tush back and forth with swooping sways of his hips. Iggy brings his hand to his mouth, lips curling into a small smile. Now, Genzo starts moonwalking as he swings backwards, his shoes sliding across the dusty floor. With one arm, he feels out the location of the workbench, sliding to the broom bristles along its bottom edge in percussive thrusts that sync with each clap of a hi-hat. In their spin, this is taking him towards the duo of bikes currently saddled at their stands in the states of half repair. He embraces the first, running his fingers almost lovingly up the frame, before promptly lifting it clear off the ground, stand in all, in one single-handed swoop. His jaw drops nearly to the floor. Gives a space beneath where the bike had just been sitting, looking no more encumbered than he had been 2 seconds ago, before he'd had a 25-plus pound bike on his hand. Millie prepares Iggy for when Genzo drops the broom entirely to lift the other bike in his opposite hand, holding them both aloft as if they were no more than papier-mâché crafts. Iggy's eyes widen, and he feels a warm, tingly heat rise to his cheeks, his heart quickly accelerating into rapid staccato. Almost as though hearing this, Genzo comes to a sudden stop. He whirls around, dropping both bikes instantly. Who the fuck's there? He storms over to the radio, slamming it off as Iggy shuffles nervously into the room. His shoulders are curled in so low he is liable to topple right over. Sorry, the door was open, so I just... Genzo's nose twitches and visibly perks up. Well, damn, I remember that smell anywhere. If it isn't my late-night Lothario, walking his sweet sanguinary nectar into my humble shop. He brings a thumb up to his smooth back, the muse tousle of bang beneath his hat, adjusting his glasses with a wide grin. I should have worn my fancy apron today. He laughs with an awkward flush, the sight of that stupid charming grin already jumbling his thoughts. I just thought I'd, swing by after work, since you did make that offer after all. That I did. Genzo gives his head a little shake, almost like a dog overwhelmed by its emotions. He rose at his chin as he starts towards Iggy. Though certain salesmen did not expect their solicitations to yield such promising results. Iggy begins tucking his hair in behind his ear, again and again and again. It was just, you were so kind and all. Not many people, and I wasn't doing anything else, so he starts involuntarily shaking his hands. Calm down, your little heart's beating a mile a fucking minute there. Genzo chuckles gruffly, reaching up to feel for Iggy's shoulder before giving a reassuring pat. We're just here to look at some of the bikes, yeah? Why don't you give me a tour of the old shop, Or why don't I give you an old tour of the old shop, Maybe help set that heart of yours more at ease. Genzo's hand drops to a small of Iggy's back, giving a gentle but encouraging push. And Iggy complies easily, falling to the next step up to the shorter man with a diffident okay, as Genzo leads him towards the workbench. We even got a little workbench sprite. That's so cool. Uh, ask about the shop, ask about Genzo. I think I gotta ask about the shop. I kind of want to know more. So, is it hard running a shop like this? I've always wondered what it'd be like to run your own business. Feels like it'd be really complicated, you know, with all the tax issues and whatnot. Ha! You're telling me? Genzo snorts. Don't even get me started. Fucking IRS breathing down my fucking neck, fucking auditing me twice. I barely make over the fucking threshold. But no, gotta scrutinize every fucking deduction like they got the hard on from making my life miserable. Fucking cocksucking piece of shit dirtbags. Iggy blinks, his eyes wide. I'm sorry I brought it up. Nah. A laugh. Just let's talk about something else, shall we? What were we doing? You were giving me a tour? A tour, yes. Tour. Genzo turns towards the workbench, coughs. Well, this is where the magic happens. He runs his hand along the length of the wooden surface before turning back towards Iggy with a grin. It's a very nice table. Ain't it though? A snicker. You ever held a torque wrench before, hon? Oh, what? Genzo reaches towards the peg of the wall behind the bench, quickly feeling out 3 pegs from the right to grab a long shiny object. Try this on for size, he says before placing it in Iggy's uncertain hands. Oh, thank you. Iggy blinks down at it, unsure what to do. The cold metal feels strange in his hands, but Genzo seems to have already moved on. He tours around Iggy's back, fingers sliding across the length of its waist, before reaching for something on the other side of the workbench. This here's a crank extractor, he says before placing another item in Iggy's hands. Iggy fumbles slightly, but manages to grip this new contraption too. A yellow-handled something, rather, with a bulky black end. You need the right tools, see, to extract the right stuff. Genzo grins extra wide at this, his large canines winking at him. Oh. Of course, sometimes it requires a little more persuading. Now he picks up what looks like a long hook with a chain curved beneath it, running his fingers reverently up the metal links. Iggy blinks in silence. Genzo laughs abruptly, tossing the apparatus out to the side. But you seem quite open to new experiences, eh? I suppose so. Iggy chuckles awkwardly, still unsure what to do with the tools in his hands. I did used to mix all the pops from the soda fountain. It kind of just tasted like maltodextrin, though. Genzo responds with a hum. Snatching the tape measure off the bench, and he tools back around Iggy's stiffened frame. He traces the finger up Iggy's back, up onto his neck, then he yanks the measuring tape open from there all the way to the ground. Iggy isn't sure what to do. He stands there politely. What's your blood type, by the way? Genzo asks as he feels for the raised tabs on the measure, clicking his tongue at whatever his fingers ascertain. At this, Iggy's brow furrows. He's not quite sure, to be honest. Though he vaguely remembers his mom mentioning something during one of his many panic attacks at the doctor's office. He has the tiniest fear of needles. A negative, I think? Genzo lets a tape measure go with a snap. The sound of it makes Iggy jump. Is there nothing that's sugary sweet about you? You candy claret delicacy? The flush returns to Iggy's cheeks, and his eyes drop with a bashful laugh. I don't really... Genzo's lips pull back into a wide grin of his, and he gives the top of the workbench a little pat, chubby palm sending circuits of dust into the air. Though the real beauty of this inelegant easel is more subtle. With a huff, he hoists himself up to the thick wood, short legs dangling over the edge. He immediately grabs Iggy's hips, tugging him in against his thighs. It gives a shorter Genzo a wonderful little boost. Iggy's cheeks are on fire now. He can feel the edge of the workbench digging into his pelvis. But more than that is the soft, possessive pliancy of Genzo's knees right around his hips. And the lilting dance of Genzo's fingers as they trill besides. This is a nice sweater, Genzo muses as he rubs his thumb against the wool. I wanted to wear something nice, Iggy starts before suddenly realizing what a fool he must sound like. He bites down on his lip with a grimace, but I think about the fact that you can't... I didn't think about the fact that you couldn't see. Genzo cocks his head to the side with a small smile. Maybe not, but I can feel it well enough. And fuck does it feel divine. His hands trace up towards Iggy's neck, fingers playing on his collar. Do you know that tactile stimulation heightens your sense of taste? Now his thumbs are dripping down inside the fabric, sliding against the soft skin of his throat. No, I didn't. Genzo pulls Iggy closer, rubbing his cheek, then his lips across the exposed patch of trembling skin right below his catchwood. He opens his mouth, then probably grins, pulling back what seems to be an air of great restraint. But I'm getting it at myself, aren't I? I haven't even finished the grand tour. He slides off the bench with a plop and wanders away, humming his breath. As he remains frozen next to it, his hands still gripping the two tools, and his face the color of a tomato. I don't hear the scuff and paw pads of yours. Come on. Right. Iggy hastily drops the metal gadgets back onto the wood with a clatter before shuffling after the short guide, head and cheeks still blary with heat. Genzo comes to the next stop next to two half-repaired bikes in the middle of the shop. Their bi-colored blue and green frames shining in the buzzing light of the overhead bulbs. He places his hand in the grip of the left one and gives an approving shake. This is where the patients go. These two beauties are from a fine gent up in the Windsor Falls. Windsor Falls, just some basic tune-ups before he takes them on an autumnal retreat at the lake with the little lady. He tilts the edge of his glasses down as he wiggles at this, waggling a brow. Oh, that sounds so nice. Don't it, though? Then after another beat, come here. Iggy pads over obediently. And once he's close enough, Genzo finds his waist, gently guiding him downward. The two of them squat next to the blue bike. Feel it, Genzo says softly, before gingerly encasing his wrist in the direction of his hands towards the long, smooth frame of the bike. It's cold beneath the pads of his fingers, but with a strange sort of subdued energy. The hum of electricity just beneath the surface. He traces the length of the blue shaft, Genzo's fingers guiding him elegantly along, following the curves as it arcs up along the back wheel. There's a pulse to it. Genzo's voice is barely a whisper now, low and rumbling. Can you feel it? Yeah. Iggy murmurs in response, weirdly entranced by the buzz nipping at his fingertips, the way Genzo's thicker fingers curl just slightly between his. When they reach the end, Genzo tugs his hand back, gently twisting Iggy's arm so his wrist is facing upwards. He slides back the fabric of his sweater, exposing the thick, pale skin. Just like the one here, Genzo continues, dragging the tips of his fingers up and down the length of his wrist. Iggy can't seem to breathe. Utterly transfixed by the soothing motion, perfectly in time with the pulsing beat of his heart. When Genzo drops his head, pressing his double lips against the soft skin, his soft, gentle pecs tracing up from his palm, he starts to grow incredibly warm. You have such thin skin, Genzo murmurs against his wrist. Can practically feel right through it. Thank you? Iggy is starting to squirm, finding it doubly brushes up Genzo's stubble against his skin to be very ticklish. Should we joke with him or should we just not? Also, I just realized that there are titles for the episodes: A Curious Meet Cute and A Bisecular Pursuits. Okay, that's pretty funny. Yeah, totally. I watch it every day. Iggy tries his best to quell his ticklish feeling with a laugh. I watch it every day, he continues, wiggling his fingers playfully. I'm sure you do. Now Genzo traces his lips out towards Iggy's elbow, his mouth practically encased in the width of his arm as he sucks up greedily on the skin. This only makes the ticklish feeling 5 times worse. Growing and growing, until Iggy's body gives an involuntary spasm, he squeaks, jerking his arm away. But his skin had been so far up Genzo's lips that the sudden movement pulls it across in one of sharp canines and slicing a thin gash on the surface. Ah! Iggy whimpers in spite of himself, curling his arm towards itself with the damage. It's only the barest traces of a cut. A white translucent scrape across the skin with a few tiny dots of blood peeking through. Genzo's nostrils visibly twitch. It's bleeding? His voice sounds like just slightly hoarse. Only a little. You poor dear, I'm sorry. Genzo takes Iggy's hand in both of his, the thick fingers massaging the squeezing pain. I get a little carried away sometimes. His lips curl inwardly and upward angelically. It's okay, it doesn't hurt. Iggy starts to pull his arm away, only for Genzo to grip it tighter. His voice squeaks. He coughs and drops it back to normal level, albeit thick with phlegm. Can I? Iggy blinks, having no clue what Genzo is asking, but finding himself as too much of a loss to ask for clarification, given the pleading, needy way Genzo is staring at him. When Iggy doesn't respond, Genzo must take this as affirmation because he leans down, pausing for a moment to inhale the scent of his arm, before sticking his tongue out and full on swabbling across the length of the cut. Iggy's eyes nearly bug out of his head. Oh! And Genzo gives a twitch, his body shuddering visibly from the head to toe, a high-pitched whimper before pulling back. He laughs, scratches rapidly at his chin, laughs again. Fuck. He squeaks, half grunts, then twitches again. Are you alright? Iggy's eyes soften in concern. Genzo jumps to his feet with a laugh. He pats the saddle near his bike with a bit too overzealously, leaning heavily on the bike's stand to the point that he almost tips over. So yeah, just giving them a little tune-up. Scoom up? Tightening some nuts, lubing the old bearings, replacing them with the worn down parts, shining them all up real pretty like, you know? They'll be real beauts when they take him out on their appetizing infused joyride through the glorious autumn scenery. Yeah, totally mean glorious. Iggy stares up at the man, currently looking like he drank about 5 times its weight in espresso. He blinks, raises a finger, lowers it, raises it again. Where do you get the parts? Genzo doesn't move. He says nothing for about 10 seconds, then clasps his hand together with a smile. I have go-to vendors, of course. Though I also keep plenty of parts on hand so customers don't have to wait. He says with a spirited waggle of his finger before turning towards the back wall of shelves. Iggy's just standing there like, what the fuck just happened? He whistles softly, filling out the boxes on the second shelf and tugging it in half off. Care for a disc brake? Or maybe a saddle or two? He pulls out the parts in question cheerily. And Iggy wanders over as he shoves the box back only to tug out another. Aber derailer. They're really good at derailing a conversation. He yanks out at something that looks like a mechanical seahorse and holds it out for Iggy. Before Iggy can even think about taking it, he pulls it back, already into a third box of a row. Now here we go. Extra chains. I've always had certain fondness for these little guys, helpful as they are in wrapping things up when they just don't fall into place on their own. He turns to a long length of bike chain between his hands, snapping it tight. Iggy laughs. I know that feeling. Like with Christmas presents, except I normally use Scotch tape. Yeah, just like Christmas presents. Genzo muses with a smile as he loops the chain first once, then twice around Iggy's waist, tugging him in close. Tall, delicious Christmas presents. What type of present opener are you? What type of present opener are you? I always try to open mine carefully when I reuse the paper. It's so gosh darn expensive these days, Iggy says with a sheepish laugh. It truly is. It's a crying shame. Genzo shakes his head, swaying gently back and forth in a sort of pseudo-waltz around the small shop, taking Iggy with him. Unfortunately for my wallet, I just can't help it. I gotta rip it off. Whoop. That was just a plain-out cartoon moment. With this, he yanks back on the chain, sending Iggy stumbling into a dizzy circle and crash-landing legs up in a pile of spare bike tires. A few of them go rolling away as he lets out a small groan, long limbs splayed akimbo amongst the corrugated rubber. And now I've seen you found my tires, which brings us to just about to the end of my tour. Genzo meanders leisurely towards the bike, rewrapping the chain around his hands and giving it a few taut snaps. Iggy brings his hand to his head, trying to sit up amongst the spilled jumble of spokes and treads. But just as he managed to get up his elbows, Genzo was lowering himself down. Ooh. Straddling his bow angled hips, the shorter man leans in with a nonchalant hum, stretching the chain across his shoulders. This one's almost as long as your arms. He cocks his head to the side, tooth poking out between his lips. Ain't that something? Iggy feels a flush return to his cheeks, finding himself altogether wholly discomposed right now, and becoming more so with each passing second. I do have very long arms. Yes, you do. Long arms, with long, beautiful veins inside. Genzo leans in closer, pushing down on the chain and forcing Iggy's head up at an angle. You know, it's funny, because normally I don't get that hungry till the sun goes down. But being around you makes my fucking teeth ache. He brushes his lips against the bottom of Iggy's chin, a tickling nuzzle that sends a chill up and down Iggy's spine like an icy sparkle. Oh? Iggy's eyes widen, his lips trembling around the single syllable. You're hungry? Genzo's lips drop further, but his breath hot against the side of Iggy's neck. Absolutely ravenous. Iggy's heart's beating like crazy now. He clenches his eyes shut, trying not to get words out before it lost his nerve. Because this might be his only chance. This might be... Genzo's hum danced across his trachea. Would you like to come over for dinner? This is followed by a decidedly undignified squeak as Iggy bites down his lip, his cheeks burning and his heart thundering like a locomotive in his chest. He can't believe he just did that. He's never invited a boy over to his apartment before. Or anyone for that matter, I'm assuming. He's so embarrassed he could die. He cracks his eyes open to see Genzo just staring down at him, a look of conflicted confusion writ into his brow. Before that mouth of his breaks to a white grin, he chuckles and leans back. I mean, sure, that sounds nice. Really? Iggy's heart gives an extra buoyant jounce. Some part of him had actually believed Genzo would accept. Hearing this turns him into a bashful mess, and his lips curl up in a goofy grin. Oh, I'll make something nice, I promise. And then a beat later, you don't have any allergies or anything, do you? He asks in a flurry. I wouldn't want to get you sick. Genzo pushes himself off to his feet, readjusting his coat and apron with a small cough before reaching down his hand down for Iggy to grab. Nah, I'm easy. And then with an impish smile, he stretches from ear to ear. I'm sure anything you make will be to die for. Oh gosh, this makes Iggy flush again. He brushes his hair back and then again. Would it be best if I just text you my address? Oh, sure. What's your number? XXX 9650091. Okay. There. Did you get my text? New text message from XXX 3189355. Would you like me to read it for you? Oh, dark, illustrious, immortal one. No thanks, Dougal. I'm good. Great. Now you have my number then. So if you can't find the place or something, you can just call. Yeah, that's great. Great. I'll go ahead and go then. Maybe like 7? Is 7 okay? 7's great. Perfect. Can't wait to see you. See you later. Right. Iggy scuttles off. Aww. Not stopping until he's back outside the shop, just with the overhead bell jingle jangling his exit and his heart, as he pauses for a moment to calm his racing thoughts against the front window pane. Oh my gosh. He hides his face in his hands, dorky grin plastered across his face. His heart is still racing, the beat of it throbbing in his head and making it hard to calm down. But when the door of the neighboring liquor store pops open, he gets an accusing stare from a man carrying about 5 cases of beer. He forces himself to be normal. Lowering his arms and standing back straight as he runs his hands across his sweaty brow. Be normal, Iggy. Be normal. He lets out a long, slow breath, then glances back to his phone. The texting interface is still open, showing the text with his address. And when he sees the number at the top, he realizes he hadn't added Genzo to his contacts yet. And a few presses he taps through it. Genzou. Genzo. Pause. Then another tap. Aw, he put a little heart at the end. That's so cute. He smiles, biting down on his lip. Then glances at the clock and realizes he needs to get going if he's have time to run to the store and get the food started before his very important guest arrives. He pushes off from the window and starts up down the sidewalk, a lilt in his step and a song in his heart. He has dinner to prepare. Aww. When he's back to sweeping. You have anything to say for yourself? Uh, thank you, self, for being so fly. If I wasn't, if I was anyone else, I would surely die. Gizmo makes it a sign across it of a cross from his chest. The overhead bulb flickers, buzzing with a surge of energy as the tools at the workbench shudder. Mom, what's up, dude? Okay, so I'm guessing Orlem's a vampire too? Alright. You blithering fool. That's the third time this year I've had to clean up after you. I had to send Jerry for God's sakes, man. Aw, but he loves it. Being your little lapdog turns him on. How many times must I repeat it to get it through your thick skull that there are matters of etiquette we must follow. You cannot simply feed in a dark alleyway. What do you think this is? The Dark Ages? I was fucking starving. I hadn't eaten for 2 fucking months. You're turning me into a laughingstock of the city. I have a reputation to uphold. Four, four fledglings I've sired, but you're the only one who has to make trouble. As the younglings say, get with the program. Well, sorry, I don't have your hoity-toity come hither allure, Mr. Shag Me Not. But it's fucking hard for me. My negative 100 charisma makes Her Royal Highness's alley snacks the only option for me sometimes. Oh, my poor sweet little baby. The man cups Genzo's chin with an affectionate coo. It's hard, isn't it, luring meals yourself? He gives Genzo's chin a scratch, and Genzo's responds with a whine, nodding his head up and down. You want to come back, don't you, Back when I would give you little treaties I caught myself? And you could just sleep and play like a good little puppy, enjoying your snackums, Genzo nods his head more vigorously, his tongue poking out between his teeth. Yes, yes. Just a sweet little fledgling, too helpless and feeble to go out and get your own food. No, no, no. Now Genzo shakes his head, laying out another whine as he starts pawing the air. The man rubs his thumb sweetly against the side of Genzo's cheek, before hooking it under his left canine and jerking it upward, twisting his head back painfully and making Genzo yelp in pain. You're not a fledgling anymore, so stop acting like one, you overgrown Chiroptera. Figure out how to feed properly, or I'm sending you to the tro where you can stop embarrassing me for 5 minutes. What about 3 minutes? The man groans, the energy of it making the whole shop shake. The bulbs overhead flicker and bounce with erratic crackles until one of them snaps completely while the torque wrench bounced on the workbench clatters to the floor. He whirls back, eyes flashing, before he lets out a sigh of great restraint, smoothing down the mused front of his sport coat. You make me want to broil in the sun sometimes. Hey, I'm working on it. Got a new one with enough to last me a better part of a month if I can bag it. Genzo snorts and brings a cigarette to his lips, laying with an irate flick. Then I trust we should have no more mishaps. A grunt. Genzo blows it out with his long trail of smoke. There's a gala this weekend. Will you attend it? Fuck. That better have been a mispronounced yes, or you'll be going tongueless for the eve. I have obligations, you know. People expect a certain image, and that means presenting my full brood at the social events. Yeah, Genzo sniffs, huffs out a cloud of smoke. Then we shall speak then. I hope to hear good news for once. So excited. So excited I'm about to piss my pants. Oof. So cute. He looks so angry all the time. Look at him. He's so angry. No mishaps. Okay, bye. give you a give you a fucking mishap. Ginzo grumbles and turns back to his broom, smoke drifting reproachfully overhead as he gets back to his cleaning. Damn. Okay. Hey. Making steaks, making steaks. Bro is singing. Ooh. Ah! He hurls a flaming pan like a shuttlecock inferno. Blaze licking in crisp autumn sky as it torpedoes across the lawn of the apartment complex before plummeting straight into the pond with a colossal sizzling eruption of algae murked water. Oh gosh. Iggy watches the steam warble in the air above the pond, brows furrowed. The zesty carcinogen tang of oil and burnt meat gristled and smolders in the air. He returns inside. Not making steaks. Liz tight, he stares down at the chaotic mess at the kitchen counter, finding himself a bit of at a loss. Now what to make? He begins pursuing his cupboards for ingredients, pulls out a box of powdered mashed potatoes. Hamburger pie it is. That'll work. Oh, he also has little bandages on his hands. It's so cute. 30 minutes later, he's got a bubbling soup of meat, beans, and mushrooms going in his electric saucepan, and has only injured himself thrice, more in the process. By this point, however, he hasn't realized how late it's gotten. And just as he takes a break to catch his breath, the front buzzer goes off. Yeah! His eyes jump at the flashing numbers in the microwave. 16:09. 16 o'clock? What's 16 o'clock? Wait. He presses the stop timer button. 7 p.m. His heart leaps in his voice box. Crap! Just a second! He calls out with his anxious cackle of phlegm as he proceeds to experience 1,000 lives and 1,000 deaths in the span of 0.15 milliseconds. He glances down at the state of his attire. Residual bits of gristle and splatters of condensed tomato soup dot his sweater and jeans like alien constellations. He grimaces. He's a mess. His kitchen's a mess. He didn't finish cleaning up the rest of his apartment before either. He wanders out into the living area, stands there for a moment, then fixes one of the pillows that's askew on his sofa. He heads for the door. Hey! It's with a shit-eating grin that Genzo greets him at the other side of the front door. Also a sardonic tap on the wrist. And here I thought you were just gonna leave me out here. So sorry, I lost track of time. Had a little problem with the stove. Is that the pungent odor of burnt oil simmering on a fine fillet of a pond mildew tweaking my nose hairs, or did you get yourself all buttered and basted for me, you incorrigible charmer, you? Neither. I think the neighbors must be having one of their grill outs. They're always doing this and that, neighbors. Iggy wrings his hands together with a laugh. Once it dies down, they both go silent, just standing in the doorway. After a good 15 seconds, Genzo chuckles and scratches his chin. So, can I come in? Let him in, don't let him in. Oh my god. I could be an actual dick if I wanted to. I invite you to dinner, just say, nope, you can't come in. Yeah, let him in. Let him in. Let the boy in. Oh, Iggy's now his awkward stupor, a little jolt. Of course. So, of course. Sorry about that. He holds the door open, allowing Genzo to stroll inside. He watches as this shorter man slips off his shoes as though by habit on the front mat. I think all the fumes have gone to my head, he chuckles sheepishly. Fumes? Did I say fumes? I meant legumes. Ha, I hear that. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you... So, did you have any trouble finding the place? Nah, old Dougal Old Dougal pulled through. Damn remarkable. What technology can do nowadays, eh? Ain't it? Even told me exactly how many minutes the bus would be delayed. That is pretty helpful. Was the bus very crowded? I wouldn't know. I rode on top. Fuckers don't let animals on. Before Genzo breaks into a laugh. That was a joke. A joke. Oh. And there'd be a silence. Yep. Then Genzo reaches inside his glasses off. Oh, bro really is blind. Iggy's brows arc. Ah. Genzo immediately blanches. What? You got a fucking problem? No, He drops his gaze, unclasps his hands. You have very beautiful eyes. This seems to silence Genzo, but only for about 5 seconds. Then he's got a finger up, brows furrowed at irritation as he pokes it empathetically at Iggy's direction. Enough with that shit right now. He grumbles and turns away, arms folded over his chest. Though Iggy can't help but notice the slight touch of pink in his cheeks. Sorry, Iggy chuckles. Pauses. Looks around the room. He's unsure what's supposed to happen next. Then he remembers his visit to Genzo's shop and his smile returns. Would you like a tour? I can show you where everything is. A tour of the old glad pad? I wouldn't say no to that. Genzo's lips curl upwards, which helps to give Iggy a spark of reassurance. He grins to himself, willing to build his built-in hospitality modus to win over his awkward fumbling. So we're in the living room right now. He pauses for a moment, trying to think about what would be helpful to describe it. There's a couch, a TV here. Don't make it sound too enticing now. And a table. Classic. Iggy moves on, shuffling off towards the kitchen. I try to do a bit of cleaning, so hopefully there isn't anything in your way. A thoughtful host. I like that. Iggy flushes, then past a nearby door frame. Inside here's the kitchen. You're, of course, welcome to any snacks and drinks. A grunt. He watches Genzo wanders after him, feeling out some of the furniture landmarks along the way. Then, if you keep following the wall, the wall back, there's 2 more doors. 2 of them head back, and Iggy once again past the 2 door frames. The one on the left is the bathroom in case you need it. And my bedroom is on the right. Genzo tucks his thumbs into the belt loop's brows arced. Bedroom, eh? You move quick. I only just got here. Iggy's blood bubbles into a heated froth. I was just letting you know where everything is. I didn't want you to feel lost. Every single nerve inside his body it feels like it's been speared with dynamite. Genzo chuckles. Nah, you're being real sweet. I know you'll wait until after dinner to seduce me, you scamp. He hums and shuffles off, leaving Iggy standing wide-eyed and overwrought in the corridor. Across the room, Genzo finishes his trek, tracing his hands up along the backside and arm of the sofa before settling down on the cushions. He spreads his arms and legs with a satisfied sigh. You got some nice digs, Iggs. He pauses, starts snorting. Digs, Iggs, he says again, clearly tickled. Iggy follows after him, fidgeting awkwardly with the sleeves of his sweater. Why does he feel like some kind of alien life form trying to copy human behavior? I wonder whether people just know how to act or what to say in these types of situations. His brain is as helpful as a bumpy log. Tucking his hair behind his ear with a small laugh, he shuffles towards the speakers by his television. He clicks them on and pulls out his phone. How about some music? I love music. Play me some music. Another laugh. He scrolls through his playlist and decides on one of his more basic electro swing collections. Wait, I gotta hear some electro swing. Come on, give it to me, Carrot. Safer bet, no doubt, than his video game scores and his jams about cannibalism and neurological disorders. I wonder what 2 songs he's referencing with that. Well, I want to guess that one of them is probably Narcissistic Cannibal by Korn. The other one is I'm probably gonna guess it's Down with the Sickness. That's the only other song I could think of. Less likely to weird Genzo out. Once the jaunty beat starts floating out from the soft shell soft shell casings, giving him, a bit of much needed white noise. He sits down politely on the other end of the couch. It's okay. It's okay. The apartment, I mean. He continues to the earlier conversation as though there hadn't just been an awkward music break. It has everything I need, at least, though they keep upping my rent every year. Genzo's nose twitches as he sits up a bit. Now that he's sans glasses, Iggy can see the little amused glint in his eye. What? You're like a spooked rabbit or something. Then come here. He pats the cushion between his thighs. I don't bite. A pause. Too hard. Okay. Iggy scooches over obediently, until he's sitting between Genzo's spread legs. Genzo reaches around to tuck him still closer, and hands on Iggy's hips. And Iggy feels the heat lap at his cheeks again. Is he forgetting about the dinner, or no one's ever held him like this before? He doesn't know where to put his hands once so he clasps his bandaged fingers quarterly on his lap. You're so cute. Thank you. He drops his gaze, finding it hard to look Genzo in the eye. Can I? Huh? Then back up to see Genzo's hands and his fingers curling in and out. Oh, he simply says, which Genzo takes as approval because his hands goes to Iggy's cheeks, palms warm and just a little sweaty against the skin. Then his thumbs start tracing across Iggy's brow, first following the curves of his eyebrows, then down to the bridge of his nose. Oh, you wear glasses? Iggy is finding it hard to generate a response to this, so he simply says, yes. Feels like I should have guessed that. You kind of got that vibe. Oh. Genzo hums it in bemusement contemplation, thumbs move down upward now to chart Iggy's hairline. A gentle massaging circles they slide across his temples, the motion of it wonderfully calm and soothing. Close your eyes. Iggy does this so without thinking, lulled by his soft kneading thumb pads and the sparkly chills of pleasure they're setting all up and along his scalp. You're so freaking tense all the time. You can just relax. See that? Now that little heart of yours is being nice and easy like. He can feel Genzo's shift against him. Pressure. Something pressed against his shoulder. Then his throat. A nibbling prick of his ear. His eyes pop open and shatter gas between his lips. Genzo's got the edge of his ear between his lip, giving it a soft little nips from his teeth. What if he wants to nibble on your ears? Eric's words from earlier flitting across the thoughts. He lets out a nervous giggle. The tri-rocket combination of a situation, loosened nerves, and ticklish nipping against his earlobe coaxes it from his lips before he can stop it. A hum from Genzo. You like that? He feels Genzo's lips curl into a small smile against his skin, before his mouth traces downwards and presses his long flat tongue against the carotid, giving it a long, slow lick up the side of his neck. This makes Iggy squeaking as he giggles again. It's very squirmy. Huff of laughter. Yes, very squirmy. Before the lips part, sucking up on the skin and making him spasm even more. Just a squirmy little worm and two pokey little harmless antennae. Iggy bites down on his lip with another laugh. His whole body's starting to writhe and twist. That's silly. Worms don't have antennae. Then he lets out another squeak, barely managing to hold it together. At this point, it feels that his foible from back in Genzo's shop rushes back to him like a hot line wire. Then he'd stupidly injured himself and made things all awkward. All because he couldn't act normal. Shame floods his cheeks. He can't let that happen again. He has to be normal. He has to knee him in the nuts. Honestly, that'd be my first choice. I'd probably knee him in the nuts too. I don't want to hurt the guy though. It has to tickle him back. Tickle fight. Without a second thought, he flings his arms up against his sides, digging his fingers with his own series of squirmy flourishes. Genzo bucks forward instantly. The fuck? He can feel Genzo's frame jerk, twist in a series of confused pirouettes as he attempts to flee Iggy's rowing fingers. This only spurs Iggy further, using it his advantage in height to get a commandeering angle that allows him to prime tickling access to Genzo's ribs. You fucker. Never change, boys, never change. Genzo snorts, unable to keep a number of glissandering giggles of his own from escaping as Iggy wrestles him down to the cushions. He's got his hands up and under Genzo's sweater now, full on ravaging him with relentless tickles up and down the sides. Though Genzo finally manages to clamp his legs around Iggy's waist. A sudden squeeze making Iggy pause just long enough that Genzo can yank him down, his own hands going down on Iggy's abdomen. You like that? You like that, huh? Genzo growls into his ear, lips curdling it mischievously as Iggy squirms and twists beneath him, releasing one squeal of laughter after another. This continues for another good minute or so before, in one oversized zealous roll, Genzo accidentally sends both of them tumbling over to the floor of the side of the couch. Iggy squawks like a frightened hamster and his world goes spinning. Once the dust settles, his vision buoys back into place. He finds himself splayed quite unceremoniously atop the soft, round object. A soft, round, breathing object. Oh. Still panting hard, he pushes up on his elbows, Genzo's face not far below his, and looking equally as breathless and bewildered. Iggy laughs, swallows. Genzo swallows too. No doubt feeling Iggy's breath on his face and realizing just the type of position they're in right now. One where Iggy can feel Genzo's every breath, shudder, and hitch below him. And also his moves. Which Iggy has to say feel pretty darn good. Soft and comfy and warm pressed up against his own chest as he lies balanced on Genzo's paunch. His heart starts beating faster again. And this time, not from the sudden burst of calisthenics. The sudden bubbly pop reaches his ears, followed by a hiss of the kitchen. Iggy jumps immediately. My hamburger pie! He's up in a flurry. Yep, there you go. Finally understanding. Next song his playlist starting and it tumbles to the kitchen. Only to find the saucepan with his tomato-based concoction currently bubbling up and over the edges of an off-color burnt bean smells in his air. Gah! He quickly turns on the heat, grabbing the wooden spoon and attempting to stir it back into subsurface. Everything okay in there? He hears Genzo ask from the other room. Oh yes, it's fine, he responds calmly, before grimacing. Hopefully it'll be alright. It's probably more than ready to transfer, so he pulls out the casserole dish from the cupboard, ladling over the big steaming spoonfuls of meat mush. Once finished, he grabs a bowl of instant mashed potatoes and he's readied and starts scooping it carefully on top. Oh my god. Genzo just on the side like, I know you burnt the pie eggs. Oh my god. A fluffy yellow dollops plop onto the red mixture like ice cream. Plop, swirl, plop, swirl. Scoop ice. Hurry up there! Bro is... dude, I swear, Carrot never fails to make me laugh. This is too good. Scoop by Scoop, he coats the pottage of potatoey goodness in frosting for his pie. He gets so into it, in fact, that he doesn't even hear Genzo slipping into the kitchen behind him. Or his clandestine approach. Then until Genzo's arm curled around his midsection and his belly flushed with his backside, which makes Iggy body jolt him in surprise. Something smells good, Genzo murmurs, breathing against the small back of something of his back. Does it? That's good. Half-hearted chuckle. It got a little burnt. It's okay. Now Genzo's whole face is pressed against his back. Iggy can feel his breath hot and damp, though through the fabric of his sweater. I don't mind it a little spicy. At this, his hands slide up Iggy's waist, just beneath the sweater, and tugging him back slightly. It won't be spicy. There are no chilies. Iggy muses good-naturedly, and then lets out a giggle of surprise as Genzo starts slowly rocking side to side. A gentle lilting motion that makes him weak at the knees. Almost like how Luigi lulled the Goombas into dancing during the elevator scene in the 1993 smash hit live-action motion picture Super Mario Bros. Starring Dennis Hopper. Come, we don't talk about that one. The live-action movie was horrible. Oh. Do you want to taste? Do you want to dance? I don't know what to choose from there, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at a cliffhanger there for now. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.